Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Here we have two new people, so we're going to introduce ourselves today. So, Nyssa, hello.
Hello, Letty. Hello, everyone. I'm Nyssa from Italy.
Selma, hello.
Hello, Letty. Hello, everyone. I'm Selma. I'm from Brazil.
And Lily, hello.
Hello, everyone. I am Lily from Mexico.
And last but not least, Claudia.
Hello, everybody. This is Claudia from Colombia, South America.
Right. So today, girls, we are going to talk about nightmare holidays. It's just something that I have here, and I thought we would do it today. So we're going to start off with a reading. Now, so we can see it better, I can make it bigger. Does that look better to you?
Yes,
So I keep it small and then I blow it up as I say. So Nyssa, can you start to read?
Yes, letter A, Pauline Vernon, Malaysia. My dad was teaching in Kota Baru, Malaysia. When my mom and I flew out of visit him for 3 weeks, he had already organized our stay in great details. On our first evening, we had a party on the beach. It was an idyllic scene, a beautiful empty beach, palm trees, white sand, the warm, gentle waters of the south of China Sea.
Right, okay then. Organized, right? So the ED, we need to be careful because it's got a sound like a T or a D. Organized. So it was already organized and there was an idyllic scene. That's a bit difficult. Right, Selma, would you like to continue? I swam.
Yes. I swam in the shallow water thinking, this is the life. When a jellyfish swam between my legs. The sting on both legs was agony, and it was only then I discovered that 2 people had died from jellyfish stings that year, and until that point, no one had bothered to mention the sea snakes, for whose bite there is no cure. I now understood why the beach was deserted.
Right. So it was such a beautiful place and they didn't realize why there was nobody there till they realized how dangerous it was. Right. So it was really dangerous, no? So as we can see from this picture, it looks fantastic, idyllic, and it's peaceful, it's calm, but then they realize. So has anyone been stung by a jellyfish?
No, really.
No.
Never.
Never.
Yes.
You have, right.
Yeah, not so dangerous, but I had a very big red bubble in my leg.
Yes. Right. So
more bubble.
Yes, like little boils. They're called boils.
Boils. Sorry,
right.
Little boils in my leg. Yes, it was.
So normally here in the summer, we can be infected by jellyfish, depending on the temperature of the water or the climate, we can have a lot. And there are so many people prefer not to go to the beach because we are infested by them. So they go to the swimming pool. And the local government put like nets like that to stop them passing through. But I remember last year, the very first day we went to the beach with my friend and she was stung on her ankle. And luckily enough, she was wearing, you know, those bracelets that are modern that you wear around your ankle. She had 3 or 4. And luckily, the jellyfish stung the bracelets and the sting didn't really catch her. And a lady had some cream to put on her leg and instantly she could do something for the effect, but it's quite frightening because you're swimming and my friend goes, Letty, keep an eye out for the jellyfish. And then she goes, ah, I've been stung, and we ran out the water.
Oh,
So it can be a problem. So we have to
It
keep
can
an
be.
eye. So here are some very simple questions. Lily, where did they go? The people in the text that we just read.
They went to Malaysia, a beautiful beach in Malaysia.
Right, so they went to a beautiful beach in Malaysia on holiday. And Claudia,
On
what
holiday.
did they do there?
Oh, the first day they organized a beach party, and next they went to have a bath on the sea
A swim.
and
Swim.
a swim. Okay, a swim.
Right. And Nyssa, what was the weather like?
Oh, the weather was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And Selma, how did they feel?
They felt very comfortable and
At the beginning,
very
no?
happy at the beginning.
And at the
but
end?
at the end, it's not discovered that it's not many things dangerous in
So there
the
was, at the end, when they realized about the jellyfish and also that there were sea snakes, I think they would have been frightened, no? At the end of the
frightening.
story, right? At the end.
Exactly.
So they
Frightening.
were super happy at the beginning because they said, this is the life. Not
This is
like
the
they
life.
had a fantastic holiday, but at the end, they weren't thinking that. Right then, are we ready? Selma, I'm going to make it bigger again.
Okay.
It's another story. Off you go.
Okay. Sandy Henderson, the USA. I was on a camping holiday in Yosemite National Park in California with a friend. When I awoke to the sound of screaming. I looked out of my tent and saw my friend trying to get out of his sleeping bag with a giant black bear rearing up behind him.
Right, stop there. Right, so I will explain all the words later, the exact vocabulary. Right, Lily, can you continue?
What possibly the quickest I've ever got out of bed. I scrambled up and we both sprinted in no particular direction. By pure chance, we passed a small cabin a little way back on the trail and we made a dash for that, jumped inside and locked the door. Seconds later, the bear was scrapping at the door as we cowered inside, afraid that the whole thing might fall off. After quite a long time, the bear lost interest and we were able to leave the shelter.
Oh.
Right, okay, so it sounds quite frightening, that one as well. So, oh, 1 minute, need to make it smaller. So they were camping, we suppose, in a tent, no? And then something happened. So Claudia, where did they go?
They went to Yosemite National Park in California.
Yeah, and they went to, did they say they went to a campsite? Well, we suppose so, not because they were in a tent. No, they were in a tent, in a sleeping bag, in the national park, right? And Nyssa, what did they do?
I think they wanted to have a little trip around the nature.
Right,
But
so
had
they
a
wanted
very
to
bad
be in the
experience.
countryside. They wanted to be in
Countryside tent, yeah.
there.
Camping, like
Yeah,
camping.
so they were in a tent, which is like that normally, and they were in a sleeping bag. Does it say anything about the weather, Selma? I don't think it does. It doesn't say anything about the weather.
The test don't say, but I think it's a good weather.
Yeah, if they were just in this tent, in the sleeping bag. So Selma, how did they feel?
How did they feel?
At
They feel at the first time the person awoke, and with the screaming, the sound
Yeah.
of the screaming, and he said, and he knows, no, he knew his friend trying to
escape.
escape to the sleeping bag, and because there is a giant bear, a black giant bear, rearing up. What's he rearing? Rearing
Right,
up.
so you can imagine, if I'm a bear and I'm on 4, rear is when it stands up on 2.
Ah, okay.
Right, so I'm a
Okay.
bear on 4, and if it
Uh-huh.
moves up, it goes like that to make itself bigger, to stand up on 2 legs, right? So also this happens with a horse. If a horse is on 4, and then it is frightened, maybe a horse, it will go up on 2, and it's on its back legs. So it rears up, right? Okay, so Lily, can you imagine this? You're camping, lying in bed, in the sleeping bag, and you hear your friend screaming. So you look outside to see what happens, and you realize there's a big bear there. What would you do?
Maybe I got told.
So you would start running, no? Maybe. I don't think you would stay.
No. Maybe I get paralyzed.
Oh, you would just stay there paralyzed and not being able to move. You are so frightened. Oh, right. So it's either stay in the tent and not move and hope for the best, or run for your life.
Yeah, but it is impossible that if you run, it's the worst thing that you can do.
Right. So they say we should stay calm, no? They say to us we should stay calm and not move, hoping that the wild animal will lose interest and move away. They say, I don't know if it's true or not. So Claudia, of the 2 stories we have done, we've done one about jellyfish and one about bears. Which is the most frightening for you?
I think the last one with the bear, because of the size of the bear, and is a wild animal that you can see the
Claws.
Their mouth, claws, and it's very impressive to see an animal of that size, because almost all of them are pretty big, and oh my gosh, when they stand up in their 2 feet
on the back feet, when they rear up. So we can see, I didn't write that word down, when they rear up on their back legs, that is more frightening because they are bigger. They're even bigger when they rear up on their back legs. Right, so the claws, their big mouth opened and roaring, no? I think bears roar, no? So it's all this together would make you very frightened. Right then, so what we're going to do now is read the vocabulary that was in it. I didn't put real, I just remembered now. And you will read it and then try to make a sentence using the word that we have written on the screen. So Nyssa, can you start? Idyllic scene.
Idyllic scene, pleasant and peaceful. When I had an idyllic scene. Let me think. When
Last year on holiday?
Yes, on holiday, when I go to the mountain, every year I go in an amazing place. Really, I did feel every morning when I
Yeah, because I
come.
remember I saw it last year. It was the mountains. The house was a bit like a
Yeah.
Swiss house, not made of wood. So it was an idyllic scene because it was peaceful and
The
pleasant.
same.
Right then, Selma.
Yeah.
Okay. Shallow water, less than 5 feet.
So shallow
And,
is like that. It's only very long.
Shallow. And I can swim only in a shallow water because I don't know how.
You don't know how to swim.
So
Oh, right.
I can swim only in shallow water. No,
Well,
no,
more
no.
than swim,
It's
I'm
terrible.
imagining
Yeah, it's
that
terrible,
you would
but
go
it's
for a paddle. A paddle, P-A-D-D-L-E, is with your feet like this in the water, no? And it's like walking in the water to go for a paddle. So as you don't know how to swim, you would go for a paddle in shallow water. Right. Lily.
Yes.
Jellyfish, medusa.
Right. So something about that.
I've only seen a medusa, but only in fortunately only in an aquarium.
An aquarium. Okay, so when you've gone to visit an aquarium, you have seen a jellyfish there. You've never seen one in real life. Okay.
No, fortunately.
Yeah, they can get quite big, you know, bigger than a plate. So they can get quite big, depends. Right, Claudia, the next one.
Sting, painful poison. Oh, that's a story that occurred to me some years ago when I go on vacation, on holiday to the United States, and I was bitten by a spider. And
right, so you were bit by a spider.
Yes, and the sting was very painful, and I had to go to a clinic, and I was there for 3 days on my holiday.
Oh,
can you believe it?
No, no.
I visited a hospital because of that.
Right, so I think people are afraid of bee stings, wasps, insects. Now, you mentioned that last year I was in the swimming pool and I was lying near some flowers in a water park, and I was bit by an insect. I don't know which one. And all of a sudden, my ankle started to swell, went red, and it was getting bigger by the minute. So we went very quickly to the Red Cross and they put some cream on it and it started to go down. But I was quite frightened. I felt something go like that. And I didn't think anything of it. Then all of a sudden I looked at my ankle and it was going red and swelling up. So we do need to be careful. Right, Nyssa.
There is no cure, no medical treatment. Never mind. Treatment, no medical treatment. And there is no cure for some behavior, human behavior.
I was thinking of an illness or a disease, but there's no cure sometimes for the way people behave. Right. Okay. The next one, Selma.
To be deserted. Deserted. Huh?
Deserted. When it's empty of people.
Empty of people. Sometimes it's good to go to a place where there is no crowd of people. I like it. I don't like crowded places.
You like to go to a deserted place where it isn't crowded. I tell you what, for example, at 6:30 in the morning. If you go out for a walk, I think it's fantastic because the streets are deserted and you feel like you have the time to yourself. I used to do that before. So you're walking, you don't see anybody, there is nobody, and you're just enjoying the time for yourself. So it's deserted. Right, Lily.
Sleeping bag. Well, when I come to do camping, I always carry my sleeping bag because and a little slim shelter because the ground it's not for me.
I know my family like to go camping in tents, but they are very modern because they take blow-up beds. So they blow up a bed and then they put the sleeping bag on top. So that is cheating, really. That's not the true way of camping, no? Claudia, next one.
The scramble up, move quickly, but with difficulty, maybe using your hands. Oh, I can figure out the sentence. Maybe the story of the kids with the bear. They were scrambling up when they saw the bear trying to escape of the tent.
So he was getting out the tent as quick as possible. So he was using everything he had, his hands, his feet, to get out very quickly. Right, Nyssa, the next one.
Sprint, to run fast, short distance. Yes, I know this word because my son is really good at not sprint, but long distance. So
he's more like a long distance
not
runner.
really good in sprint. Yeah, marathons, really good. So the mom, I'm not so good in sprint, but later I'm very good. Yeah.
Has anyone been so frightened they've sprinted away? For example, if you were frightened of a dog, you would sprint away, not to escape.
With dog is like a bear. It's better don't run because the dog is
when it
faster.
starts barking, no, and it's frightening.
Yeah.
Right, Selma, trail.
Trail, path. In my city, we don't have many places to make a trail.
Right, so a trail could be in the countryside, and it's normally where you go hiking, no? You follow the path or the trail to go in the countryside. Right, and Lily, to make a dash for.
To make a dash for, run suddenly quickly. Well, sometimes when you are walking and a man try to thief your purse or your bag, and you make a dash for.
Right, very good. So when someone tries to steal your handbag, you make a dash for it. Very good. Now, this is the difference for me from beginner's English to the next level. You can say run when you are a beginner, but when you are doing a higher level, you have to use the different kinds of run, no? Your vocabulary gets richer. So that for me is really the main difference between one level and another. You have enriched your vocabulary in such a way you can describe it with more detail. But when you're a beginner, you'll just have to say run because you don't know another word. Right, Claudia, to lock.
To lock, close with key. Oh, I remember another story that happened to me. I closed the door of my car and the keys were into it. So it was embarrassing because I saw the keys outside the window and oh my gosh, what I'm gonna do now.
So,
because
Claudia,
the auto, I don't know how to say that, but the auto lock, it's
1 minute.
automatically
Automatically locked, but you locked yourself out. You locked yourself out, right? Because the keys are on the
Yes.
inside. And I was thinking, how many times have we forgot our keys and we have locked ourselves out and we've had to phone for help or pay a man to open the door. So that day, Claudia locked herself out of her car. Or the automatic lock system worked, and then she had the keys on the inside. Right, Nyssa? Scraping at the door.
We scraping at the door, a sharp object used to scratch at the door, claws.
This is the
Yeah.
context. So it's very important, the context, because it would be changing every time depending what we are talking about. So I could scrape my nails down the
Okay.
door if I was silly enough, or this time the bird is scraping its claws, no? And your sentence?
Yeah, yeah. I scrap it. My sentence is, I really love, I say scrapped at the door in the past.
You just got scraped. Scraped.
Scraped, I scraped, I really liked scraped the door, my grandma door, because it had a very big, like a
knocker?
hand like this. I put this and then boom, boom. It was really fun.
Right, so you knocked on the door
Yeah,
with the
and,
knocker.
my grandma was a little bit angry because I do this.
Oh,
I
right.
did it,
Okay, so when
every
you were
time.
hammering on the door, they were angry, but scraping is like that. Imagine that movement, right? So if I wanted to paint the door, again, I could scrape off the paint, for example. Right, so you understand, if I had an old door and it didn't look very nice, I could scrape off the old paint and paint it again or redecorate. Or I could scrape.
Okay.
Or you could scrape some dirt
Scraping,
off the top of your kitchen counter. Right, so they're the different ways of scraping, right? Now, Selma.
Mhm.
Oh, to cower.
So, to cower, crouch down in fear.
Yeah.
When there is no problem if you are in a situation, in a bad situation, you are frightening to something. It's correct. To
Right,
something,
so
and
this is
you
difficult,
to
this one.
cower.
So maybe, I don't know, I've never
Cover.
had it, but if you have bad weather and you have a tornado or a hurricane, maybe you would cower
Okay.
under the table. So this word, I wouldn't worry about it a lot because maybe you wouldn't use it in your everyday language. Just if you saw it, you would remember that it's something to do with fear, frightened, and it's like this. No, so you would cower under the table or you would be in the corner. Okay, if someone was robbing your house and you were on the inside, maybe you would cower in a corner or under the bed until they left. Right, so it's a difficult one.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you.
and the last one, Claudia, to be able to.
I can read it because
To be able to. I read it for you. To be able to.
To be no, right now. To be able to is can. Oh, to be able. All of us are able to eager our English speaking because of you, Letty. Thank you.
Right. So let's try one.
Thank you.
Let's try and practice this one all together. You're going to tell me of something that you're able to do. Or you can say, I am able, you are able, my friend is able. So you can change the person. For example, I am able to swim well now because I go to class 3 times a week. So it's something that I can do, and it could be a skill, an ability, if you want to say it that way. So Nyssa, what are you able to do?
I'm able to talk for 8 hours without any interruption.
Very Italian, I'm sorry.
I'm able to study 8 hours a day. English.
Oh, you're very
Study
lucky.
English. Yes.
You're very lucky if you are focused.
Because I'm every day Saturday for me. So I can
every
say
day,
every
Saturday.
day.
You can do what you want and for how long you want. And Lily?
Exactly. I'm retired.
I am able to make a bouquet, a flower bouquet, because I took a floristic course.
Right, how nice, no, very creative.
I love it.
You
Yeah.
make flower bouquets because you took a course in this specialty. When you were saying that, I'm sorry to be nosy, but I was looking behind you at that picture that you have, which is pink. Are they cherry blossom trees?
Yeah, I love flowers, so I bought that.
Yeah, so well, we can all love flowers, but maybe we haven't got the ability, or we are not able to do what we would like to do, no? So I could say I love flowers, but I'm not able to arrange them in a creative way. So you did a course in flower arranging. Lily, you did a course in flower arranging, right? It just came into my head. Okay, flower arranging. And Claudia, to finish.
And I'm able to write poetry because I have been writing for many years, and nowadays I'm taking a workshop to 4 hours per week.
Right. So you're doing something that you like, and you are doing a poetry workshop course. So this was one of your dreams, no? To be able to do it. So that's fantastic, no?
Yes.
Right then, girls. I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope it's been useful and pleasant at the same time. Okay? So, bye, girls.
Thank you so much, my dear.
Yeah.